Fuck. Yo. Okay, dude. First of all, this is my third time recording this shit, and so I hope this works. All right. First of all, I wanted to put my face up here so I didn't hide behind my words. So I feel like a total asshole. I think I went a little beyond the line the other day, and I wanted to apologize. Talk to Justin Lee about shit like this because when we talk about OU Alabama, I get a little overzealous about shit that I talk about. So I want to apologize. Now, this is my final shit on this shit. So hear me out, and then it's over. I'm putting quotes in over. Okay. Number number one. I used to be just like you. Okay. Like I don't know if you believe in like the 9/11 conspiracy shit or not, but I used to believe in it. I used to believe in, like the anti-global warming shit. Like I'd see those videos on YouTube where they talked about CO2 is actually like after the temperature increased, and then if you look at this study and blah 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 blah, like I bought it and I was like, fuck this and blah blah blah, and this is stupid. And what's funny is that when we have these discussions now, we both are against the institution, but the institution is different. So, for example, hear me out here. Your institution are the 97% of scientists who say that global warming is happening. You're saying, like, fuck those people. Those people are the people who are all conspiring to keep this one theory afloat, keep all the naysayers out. Okay? But for me, the institution is just the opposite in the sense that the institution is big oil, big gas, big coal, and that they are trying to keep the truth from coming out and putting in a debate when it doesn't really exist. Okay, we already talked about that. Now, let's go back to the 9/11 shit. I think it's a good example. Okay? So you have these people with this loose change shit that comes out and they go, look, these planes flown in by the government, and the government put detonators in the building, and they would have never fallen if it wasn't for yada yada yada, and they used this to go to war and put in the Patriot Act and blah blah blah. Okay, and then there's the other story, which is that we got fucking hit by some jackass terrorists, and then the government was like, hey, well, that's not cool. Let's use some fear of this, and then also the weapon of mass destruction that we know we already gave Saddam Hussein as a way to go to Iraq and Afghanistan. Let's do that. Which is easier. Which is way easier to explain. Uh, that the government did that, or that we had them put in fucking bombs and shit. Which is, I mean, like, come on. Like, they can, if they want to go to war, they're going to go to war. Okay? And the other thing goes back to global warming. Like, the easiest explanation for me is that scientists are proposing something that we don't want to do. Like, nobody wants to have more taxes. Nobody, no car company wants to increase the miles per gallon shit. Like, nobody wants to watch carbon emissions. Nobody wants to do that because economically it could cause problems. But yet, the consensus it is that we need to do that. Does that make sense? Like, the consensus is we should do something we don't want to do. Which I feel like supports the consensus. Like, we don't want to do that, but yet we have this information that says we need to do it. As opposed to the other side of the argument, which is this. There are these people who want to do things that we don't want to do, and they're lying. Like, they're lying about shit we don't want to do. Whereas, if we take your side, like the side is, hey, these people are wrong. Let's do the same shit we've been doing. Let's keep making more money. I mean, like, even the fucking shit they propose we do, like solar panels and wind and all that shit that we need to pick off the ground, that hasn't been making much money. Like, if you want to buy a stock, you buy fucking ExxonMobil. You don't buy Solandra, which went fucking bankrupt or whatever. You don't buy, like, all this other shit. But yet, you know, like, which makes more sense? That's all I'm saying. Like, when you think about it, when you put all the facts aside, which we've been doing, I mean, kind of, and you look at this situation where you have people who are saying we need to do stuff we do not want to do. Nobody wants to have more taxes. Nobody wants to watch, like, how much output of CO2 they're doing. Okay, regulate that shit, which is expensive. But we need to do it. That's like when your parents say, don't have ice cream for breakfast and exercise and be in bed at 11. When you're 18, you don't want to do that. But we all know now when we're older, that's like the right thing to do. You like fucking eat your vegetables. You go to bed so you're not fucking hungover or exhausted the next day and you study for your test. No one wants to study. Like, no one wants to go to bed early. But the next day, it's better to do that. Nobody wants to have more regulations. Nobody wants to have more taxes. But at the end of the day, it's probably the right thing we need to do. Okay, my final point is this. I know I've been talking too long. Okay, if there were a silver bullet, if some scientist came out today and was like, here it is, I've got the information against global warming being caused by humans. It's wrong. He put out his thing. Scientists would take it. They'd muddle it through. They'd test it again and again and again and again. And finally, they'd come out and say, like, look, we've now reached a different consensus. We were wrong. We've got this new data, but it hasn't happened yet. Like, no scientist has come out. All the shit they've come out with has gone through the ringer. Look at a Scientific American article. I'm not going to post it because we've done that shit, okay, and whatever. But that's how it would go down. Like, none of the shit that's come out has gone through that ringer, that scientific process of analysts and paper analysis and shit, like, in journals and people testing it and testing it and testing it and testing it and testing it, which the theory has gone through. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It started like the fucking 70s. It's gone over and over and over and over again. We're still here. That's all I'm saying. So finally, I love you. Sorry for being an asshole. Great discussion. Think of it in that way, like which makes more sense, that this is happening or this is happening. Like, it's so much easier to understand that like there are people to gain a lot of money from saying this is not happening. Then the other side is saying shit that we don't want to do, but that it's the truth, which makes way more sense. It's like when your mom and dad say, you'll understand when you're older. Like, you understand when the fucking, like, shit's going down. Anyway, rambled on like way too long, so hopefully this fucking works because my other shit didn't. Later.